Welcome back to the Nickel and Dime Football Show, baby. It's your boy Suds. We got the man Drew on the wheels of steel. Listen, we got the victory, and as you can hear, my voice is completely shot from yelling at the damn TV yesterday. But hey, we got the victory, and that's all that matters this time of year. Come on, get this content for this week, baby. It's championship time. It's Nickel and Dime season, baby. Let's get it.
And then there were four, I guess. We're down to two in each conference. Sean, do you believe this is the four best teams left?
Do I believe this is the four best teams left? I think with the matchups that we got, I do, man. Like, I really do. Saints, Bucks, splitting hairs. Honestly, from the outside looking in, without a divisional, lens on it, I would say that's splitting hairs, but a lot of hatred in the division, as you can tell. Glad y'all boys went home. Don't have to be humble anymore when y'all boys is on the couch. To answer your question, man, I do think the four best teams, how we got here is crazy, man.
Right. I mean, that's why we play the games, right? You say it's a toss-up between Saints and Bucks. That's why we put them on the field and say play it out, and your team advance.
Drew, it was kind of crazy, man, but in the end, after the weekend was done, you can really say that the NFL put the right games where they were because it got better as the weekend went on. I think if you switch the first two games on Saturday, then that's what you get. But the two games on Sunday perfectly lined up. So shout to the schedule makers, man. They know what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They know how to build that story arc. You know?
Yeah, they really do.
Well, I mean, let's get into it. First game on the docket: Packers 32, Rams 18.
Drew, it was a lot going on in this game. The whole time, I just felt bad at the end of it that Aaron Donald couldn't give you what you wanted him to give you in that spot. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hated to, I'm not gonna lie, man. Seeing him get emotional got to me a little bit, man. That was tough because he's a scary man, and I would never make fun of him for crying because he'd break me in half. But you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That just shows you a lot of emotions in this game. You know?
Oh yeah. Because you gotta be honest, man. Losing Brandon Staley, Drew will probably get to in a minute here, but losing Brandon Staley, you don't know what you're going to get from year to year, Drew. You don't know what you're going to get from year to year. It's not promised. He's going to be there. Jalen Ramsey's going to be there. But can that defense recreate that same magic without their head guy now coaching right across town in the Chargers? You know what I mean? So
stays in LA.
It's hard. Drew, it's hard to win games in the NFL, man. It's very hard to do. So shout to these boys,
especially
man.
Going a playoff run after winning those games. I mean, that's what's insane to me. Is you gotta win most of your games during the season and then not lose for a long stretch.
Yeah, I mean, and you really have to stack games back to back. The way that the schedule lines up, if you go 1 for 1 week in and week out, you're 7-9, 8-8. And that obviously that's not going to cut it unless you're the NFC East. So
the East,
comes back to bite you. But no, man. I mean, getting back to this game. I mean, Aaron Jones gave you 100 yards, damn near averaging 7.1 yards per carry, Drew. I mean, and Jamal Williams comes in. AJ Dillon got a little banged up. Everybody, they almost were averaging 5 yards a clip on the ground, and I think that's what you're gonna need to have in Lambeau come this time of year. I don't know how many times we have to mention it. You know,
Oh yeah, we're like, especially when we're headed towards a possible snow game. I love it. I'm so pumped.
A lot.
I know that makes
yes,
you more nervous, but I'm just loving it.
It does. But that's what football is about, man. I mean, if it's got to come down to it, I mean, I want to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see it. I just hope I don't end up in the hospital, but I still want to see it. You know what I mean?
We might have to take next week off just because Sean's not going to be able to talk. He's going to be holding up cue cards on the other end of the camera.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can fully expect the decline in my voice next week if it don't get any better. I'm gonna salt water it up tonight. Okay, put a little ice on the wounds. You know what I mean? But dude, Aaron Rodgers still a sub 300 day, but like if you can rush on the ground for that kind of efficiency and still pass for a 300-yard day. That's a recipe for success regardless of where you're playing. But I think it's even more impressive that they're doing that in Lambeau, but like they are the home team, but like it's still impressive nonetheless, don't you think?
Yeah, no, I can't. The Rams gave up 188 rushing yards. That's the most they've given up all season. Yep. They had 0 sacks, 0 takeaways. For a team that was relying on that defense to score some points, didn't happen.
Yeah, and that's the problem, Drew. That honestly is the problem. Like if you are a team who really relies on takeaways and like the bend don't break and relying on takeaways, which the Bucs have done for a good stretch of this season, it can get you burnt. And that's why you saw that their numbers decline. And the Rams picked the wrong time to really rely on turnovers. And Aaron Donald being hurt didn't help, but you didn't get a lot from the rest of that defense. Aaron Rodgers, they had the perfect game plan. So shout to LaFleur for that. Right. Them boys did their thing, and the defense came to play, Drew.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Like I hadn't seen that fire from the Packers defense since last year when we were talking about the Packers defense. Because we went into the season high on them because of what they showed us last year, and then they kind of fell off a little bit, So I feel like this is that Packers defense that was getting a little bit of the hype train last year. The Smith connection.
Yeah,
Alexander, my God, man. I don't think he's the defensive player of the year, but he better get some votes because he crushed it this year. Yeah,
and he continues to be a Pro Bowl caliber player. I lament that Bucs didn't get him, but it is what it is. But yeah, like. I was really proud of that defense, and honestly, they have been coming on this last part of the season, really playing strong down the stretch, and playing complementary football. So Aaron Rodgers and the offense doesn't have to do as much when you have Allen Lazard dropping passes every so often, and then also coming back to make catches. So
he had 96 and a touchdown.
Yeah, right, exactly. So it almost makes you forget that he had the crazy drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
you don't want to let Rodgers. You don't want to let Papa Rodgers down twice. You know what I mean?
No. And just mentioning the Rams a little bit. Jared Goff, he was efficient. Don't get me wrong. For a broke thumb, I mean, he went 21 of 27, only 174 yards. But in that, I don't expect
he couldn't throw it down the field, man. But then again, that's not really a big part of their game plan anyway. Yeah. So
and they gave Cam Akers volume enough. I mean, he had 18 rushes. He still had 90 yards. Cam Akers is a damn good ball player, man.
He is.
I think the problem was, and I'll mention this guy in a second, but like for the Rams, Drew, if their leading receiver is Josh Reynolds, in terms of yardage, I think you got a problem there, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well,
so let me ask you this real quick.
Sir,
if you're the front office for the Rams, where do you go? What are you missing? Because you still got Goff under contract for a hot minute. You know what I mean? Like,
true.
Akers is a rookie. Not a lot of wiggle room on that defense money-wise. What do you do in the offseason to try not to have this happen again?
I definitely think that they need more. Ooh, that's a good question, Drew. I think they need more offensively, but like, if you actually look at them on paper, they should have everything. They got a running game.
Woods, Kupp, Higbee.
I think maybe you need a little bit more on the offensive line, but the receivers, like you just mentioned it, Woods and Kupp, enough to get it done. But, and then I also, like I was talking about mentioning this guy a second ago, Van Jefferson he was the game plan for a lot of the game yesterday. Like, and he showed out. I wish he would have got more looks. Like, he only had, he had 6 receptions, only 46 yards, but the way that they were using him, I really thought it was great job on Sean McVay's part. But I think, Drew, I'll be honest, man, I don't know, because technically you have everything that you need there.
Right.
Does it fall on the quarterback if that's the case?
I mean, don't you think that when you got the pieces that the quarterback's always the odd man out? You know what I mean?
I mean, I think we might have backed our way into an answer here, you know what I'm saying? And they paid that man loot, so maybe how do you get out of that?
Maybe, okay, so hear me out. Just for the sake of science, okay? I'm a college man again, for the sake of science.
Okay, yeah. Throw in the lab coat real quick. Throw in the lab coat. I'm with it.
Rams owe Goff a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles owe Carson Wentz a lot of money.
Okay.
What if they just did the quarterback swap? Different environment, new change, new scenery, and just see how it works. Like that whole nature versus nurture thing. You know what I mean? Like, are they a product of their environment? Do they just need a change?
I could see it going well for Wentz if he were to go to L.A., but Philly would eat Goff alive, son.
Yeah, that would be a sacrifice.
They would eat Goff alive. Like,
I mean,
I just don't.
We're Hurts fans, so maybe that's a guaranteed way to get Hurts a starting job next year.
Oh yeah, that's very true. That's very true. It's just another one of those things. But like, I don't think in both of those aspects, Drew, you got to admit, like, did they give the money to those guys too early, especially like the way that the free agent quarterback market has worked out, what you've seen from young players? Like,
I think this definitely hurts going forward. You know what I mean? Like, I think I think we're going to see a few less long-term deals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we're going to see more 3-year deals, 4-year deals than these 5-6-year deals.
Drew, you my guy, and that's what I love about you, man, because that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how the NFL hasn't gotten on this whole 3-year deal thing. Like, just like taking a page out of LeBron James's book, man. Just short deals, bro. And like, if you like, tell me this. If you do a 3-year deal, talking about getting more guaranteed contracts for NFL players, if you do a 3-year deal, the kind of leverage you can get a team to give you all guaranteed money, especially like if you're going to take less money to get a fully guaranteed deal, why not make the deal shorter, get another fully guaranteed after 3 years? I mean, not only
that way the team gets what they want, they're not locked in long term. You get what you want because you get guaranteed money.
Get what you want. I mean, honestly, do 2 years fully guaranteed with a team option for the 3rd year. I mean, players need to get smarter about this stuff. That's what I would want to see. Like, it doesn't seem like it's hard to change either. Like, somebody just has to be the first one to do it, and then watch everybody fall in line.
Well, two candidates that could end up changing the game with contracts: Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. We got a low-scoring game, but it was fun to watch. I didn't hate it. It didn't feel like that. Like I was on the edge of my seat the whole game. Yeah,
and we'll talk about this here in a minute. But the NFL, they dodged the bullet. They dodged the bullet. We'll say that. But yeah, Drew, this game was very exciting. And I mean, before we kind of break this down, let's just call a spade. The pick six was it. That was it.
That was the play.
Like,
that was the play.
That was the play. Talking about, like, out of this whole weekend, there were a lot of plays that swung the balance of the game, but maybe none so more than that pick six to Teron Johnson, I believe his last name was.
Yeah, it goes from 10-10 to 17-3. You know what I mean? Like, that's huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
And Drew, so tell me this. Coming into the weekend, if I would have told you that Buffalo scored 17 points, do you believe they win the game?
No way.
No way.
I was like, the Ravens got 17 on the ground at least.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, 17 from a run, 17 points from that running game that's expected, I would say. Yeah.
I'm so baffled as to why, like, I get it. Like, I understand the business side. It's a business decision. But why is Mark Ingram not playing in this game? He's a healthy scratch because you don't want to take a $1.2 million cap hit in case he gets hurt.
Yeah. That tells me, and like, honestly, if I'm Lamar, I'm pissed. But, like, that tells me that you don't want to win. Because I know, Drew, we have seen this. And for what Mark Ingram is now compared to what he was when he was really starting to hit the ground running in New Orleans, maybe there's a drop-off there. But I'm sorry, but I still like what Mark Ingram gives you. I'm a big Mark Ingram fan.
He's a nice change of pace
got the hell out of it. Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Oh, especially when he got out of New Orleans.
Especially when he got out of New Orleans. That's what I'm saying. Like, get him the hell out. And that's what I'm saying. Like, he was really starting to come into his own. Then he continues to dominate in Baltimore's first couple of years. They get more. You need more than one running back. A healthy scratch, Drew. I don't think you could have put it any better. Baffling to me, man.
150 rushing yards for the Ravens, and 32 of those were from the backup quarterback that just ran for his life when he came in when Lamar got hurt.
Yep. And before that, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, both 10 rushes for 42 yards exactly, like the same. 4.2 yards a carry, which is not bad, but you need more. Like, you need more. And they weren't able to get – Marquise Brown had 87 yards, 4 receptions, 7 targets, had a long 30-yard pass, but they needed more than that. Like, Mark Andrews only had 28 yards, you know?
Yeah. They have got to get some receivers this offseason, man.
Got to. Go ahead.
No, they have to get those receivers.
They have to. And I think, like, I would hate to telegraph a draft pick, but be looking at wide receivers if I was y'all Baltimore fans. Like, be looking at wide receivers because
there's some other question marks on the team I think we're going to go with instead of.
Yeah. It doesn't need to be that. But yeah, talking about Buffalo, man. Josh Allen didn't need to do much. I mean, he still threw 37 times, which was kind of baffling to me.
Well, he had to. They had 32 rushing yards. 32 rushing yards as a team. How do you beat the Baltimore Ravens in the divisional round on 32 rushing yards? It blows my mind.
Talking about getting 17 points, but if you would have told me that Buffalo had 32 rushing yards, I would have told you again that they would have lost the game. Like,
right.
And they still got the win. This game was crazy.
Defense,
of course, Drew.
The defense did work.
We got to mention our guy. We told you that it was guaranteed Stephon Diggs was going to get 100 yards and a touch. 106 yards and a touch. I mean, spot on.
He does make our job easy because he is Mr. Consistency. So I love it.
Very much so. Very much so. And he's like, that dude is, I mean, he's kind of climate proof, if you ask me. You know what I mean? Like, it don't matter where he's at.
He's like, I'll just put on another set of gloves, man. It's fine.
Yeah. John Brown sighting. He had 62 yards. He was the next one. But I love it, man. The defense came to play for Baltimore.
They did. It's one of those things, man, that like I made my prediction with Baltimore because I'm not gonna lie to you. Before the taping, I had Buffalo, but the more and more we talked about Baltimore last week, I romanticized them a little bit, and I went with Baltimore. But I'm happy that the Bills won, man. I'm all for it. I think they're a great team, and they're like Carolina North, so I got to pull for them.
Yeah, they are, and I forgot about that. And I think we're getting the matchup that we want to see, especially if the Chiefs try to act like Patrick Mahomes ain't hurt and they get him in there and they play next week.
Do you already see Andy Reid?
Sure.
Andy Reid was like, if we didn't have those protocols, he would have been back in already.
Ooh.
Like smoking his cigarette like he's coaching in the 70s. Like, we gave him a shot. He's fine.
That man, the look in his eyes when he got up off that ground, man, it was like,
Hey, but anything is possible, man. You know?
Anything is possible indeed. Oh, dude, my God.
That little scratch. He did his best Mahomes impersonation, man. He killed it on that third down. And this has been a thing in our house since it happened, and I agree with my wife wholeheartedly. Right. She was very upset about that spot that he got, and I agree with her. He got that first down. There was no need for that fourth down play. It was exciting. It made for better football, but he got this. Yeah. He got the first down, and they should have given it to him.
I thought he did too. And honestly, it wasn't close, especially like when most of the time the ref errs on the side of the offense and gives you forward progress, right? Like I thought the ball passed it.
I guarantee you the refs were like, did Chad Henne just do that? Nah, there's no way.
He was scampering, man. And I mean, we got to talk about it. Him coming in. Oh, man, when he threw that dumb pick, I thought that, man, Henne about to go. Henne about to go. Henne.
Yeah, we're like, it's over. I got upset. I got worried. I was like, oh boy, if he's gonna do that,
yeah. And the crazy thing about it is, I mean, this game was all over the place. I think you got everything you wanted in this game. Baker Mayfield had clean pockets. He was very good with the football. And it still wasn't enough, Drew. Like, it just wasn't enough. Rashard Higgins, I mean, talk about being a GOAT and then a scapegoat. He had a day. I mean, he was all over the place. Yeah. He was all over the place.
Do you agree with that rule? How do you feel about that rule?
Talking about it's the touchback rule. The touchback rule. Yeah. So, I like the rule. I can't. I think it goes both ways. I can see both sides. Me personally,
I don't really know how you change it. You know what I mean? Like it's been that thing. I don't know.
The whole time. And then the crazy thing about it is there was so much happening on that play. Just to answer your question, Drew, I guess I like it because everybody already knows what the rule is. And I don't know if you change it, how you can make it better. Like if you can't make it better, then don't change it.
Because obviously you can't give it back to him at the 1 yard line. You know what I mean? Like that's not fair.
No, because he lost the football.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And I don't know how you make it better on that situation.
Right. Exactly. And he made the catch. He just extended the ball out there, and even though Sorensen hit him with the helmet, and they should have called it, it was a fumble. Like it was a clear fumble. He fumbled it out the end zone. But Drew, what I love is that Baker Mayfield, you got to go to war with your guys. Like, it wasn't like he can get anybody else out there. And he continued to go back to Rashard Higgins, and Rashard Higgins made great catches to help out his team. So
I was happy the Chiefs won. I was sad to see the Browns lose, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense, man. Drew, I mean, we definitely got to talk about our guy, man. Nick Chubb, bruh. Like, the 3 drops. How many drops did this guy have yesterday?
Yeah.
How many drops?
Both running backs let him down, man. That's brutal.
Yeah. And I think it could have been even better. And they were like, don't get me wrong. Like, I do feel like the Browns passed the ball a little bit too much in this game.
Yeah.
And they didn't need to. Like, the Chiefs only had, it was always within reach.
Right. You know what I mean? It didn't get blown out. You know what I mean? Like, it got a little scary at halftime, but they came back and closed the gap a little bit.
Right. Yeah. So, it was within reach. I don't know why they weren't rushing it. And then you saw when they actually started to rush the ball, they started to come alive. Things started to work for them. And Njoku started making clutch catches. Peoples-Jones had the one great catch. It was a dot by Baker. I love that throw. And the defense put them in position. I mean, in the fourth quarter, before all the madness happened, Garrett gets the sack. He gets the sack exactly, and he was hurting. Drew, did you see him?
Yeah. But I mean, did we not talk about it last week with Trubisky and his potential as a backup? You bring a backup in that you can't really prepare for him. and then you have no idea he's about to break off a run on third down like that. No one saw that coming. No one saw Chad Henne tucking it and saying, "Let's go for it." You know what I mean? 35-year-old Chad Henne. You know what I mean? Like,
and he took. Shout to Chad Henne because he knew what the situation was, Drew, and that's what you get with a veteran backup. He knew what the situation was. Right. I need that, bro. Nickel and Dime football T-shirts practiced up are probably coming very soon. You practiced up. Yeah, but
also available and mucking it up.
Oh yeah, but he knew exactly what he needed to do, and he took the shot, bruh. Like he took that shot, knowing it was coming.
He knew. Yeah, he's like,
I guarantee you this. You tell me when the next time Chad Henne has to buy a drink in Kansas City, and I'll call you a liar if you say it's anytime recent. You know what I'm saying? Like anytime in the foreseeable future.
He's
right. So
went down as a legend that day.
Yeah, legend. Especially if they get another ring, they might make his ring just a smidge bigger. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit bigger. Throw an extra diamond in there or something like that.
You earned this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
I love it.
So what we got? What's the
do you want to take this?
We getting in the next game? We getting in the next game.
It's the
last game of the weekend. It's the last game of the weekend, man. It's the last game of the weekend, and they waited for prime time. And the boys got it done. We ended a career yesterday. We ended an era in football history. We sent Drew Brees home, looking back at the stadium, having to come back and play with his kids after the game was over.
At least Mr. Brady made an appearance, played with Brees' kids for a second, you know?
Yeah, and threw him a dime in the end zone. He threw a better ball. He threw more touchdowns. He threw a better touchdown than Drew Brees did in his own stadium. It was great. I gotta admit, it was just great. Getting that victory, Drew, and I can't really believe after 13 years that we're here, man. Like it's just it's very surreal to me that we're here. To be honest with you, it's very surreal. I didn't think we was gonna get it done.
It's funny you said 13 years because that's how many conference championships appearances Brady had going into this game. Now he's got 14, which is more than any other team, but three teams. Three teams have more conference championship appearances since 1970 than Tom Brady as a person.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Teams.
Just the consistency that man has, and I would have never believed the aura of Tom Brady if he wasn't on my team. Like it just, I still can't believe it. And they don't get me wrong, I'm not crowning these boys. They have more work to do, but they got the bully off of their back. They got the monkey off their back. They needed to get this victory. We talked about it before. It's hard to beat a team 3 times, man, and it just goes you to show why. I mean, breaking down the game, Drew Brees didn't really throw the ball down the field. Like
3 picks.
He couldn't do it. We talked about it. Like those 3 picks came as a result of what we talked about last week. They switched up the game plan, press man coverage all game, feisty with the receivers.
Your cornerbacks came to play, man. Your cornerbacks
came to play. And Drew, we exercised a lot of demons yesterday, dog. Like the scapegoat for my team, who I've talked mad shit about, Sean Murphy Bunting.
Mr. Bunting
was the highest graded corner in the game yesterday. Sean Murphy Bunting, right?
Yo, I didn't know y'all had Ross Cockrell again. I didn't know Ross came back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he was the one that gave up the touchdown because he didn't look for the damn ball, but that's another story. But yeah, I mean, talking about it, and the receivers came to play. Devin White had a day. Mike Edwards always around the football. 3 picks from the secondary and the linebacking core. But the elephant in the room, Drew, I want to talk about 2 players. I want to talk about 2 players. I want to talk about Cam Jordan, Mr. Solidified for the next 3 years, Mr. Food, talking about my left tackle, Donovan Smith had a nice day. Tristan Wirfs made you his son. The rookie made you his son yesterday, Cam Jordan, at Cam Jordan 94 on Twitter. He made you his son yesterday. No, I'm not, but I hope to be well on my way to getting blocked by Cam Jordan. Let me just put it that way. He sucks. Like, he did not do anything yesterday. Slant Boy had 0 catches for 0 yards yesterday. A big fat Ofer, nothing, nowhere when it counted, and you didn't show up. Sean Payton got outplayed. He got outcoached. Dennis Allen was nowhere to be found. The running game showed up. They didn't know how to stop our run. Y'all got bullied yesterday in your own house, and honestly, you deserved it, because that's what you get when you all on social media. You dancing in our house. You eating W's. I mean, the disrespect was real, man, and you thought that it wasn't going to happen to you, and it happened in the worst way. And now, just as a quick aside, I hate to go on a serious rant here, but Drew, you probably knew this was coming, so we had a lot of time for it. This is the thing. It is it for the Saints right now. It is it. This is the end of an era, because you guys are in salary cap hell, and Drew Brees is not coming back. Who you going to pay? Who's leaving? I want to know. What are you going to do? What y'all going to do? I wouldn't put it past you if your coach wound up ducking out on you like the Atlanta coach did.
Oh, that would be so cold.
So many years ago, because I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know what y'all going to do.
So cold.
So, bye.
I mean, many teams would love to have him, though.
We'll see y'all.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm so down if the Saints want to be bottom of the barrel in the NFC South. They can keep the Falcons company, and the real teams can duke it out.
You love to see it. You love to see it, Drew. You love to see it.
Yeah. Just a quick note before we move on from this game. We were talking about that one turnover in the Ravens-Bills game kind of being the defining moment. On a much lesser note, but still a defining moment, I think that Jared Cook fumble. I think that was kind of the flip on the game.
Yeah. And they were driving at the time. I mean, it was after the half. We were losing at that point. They could take a double-digit lead right there. That was the catalyst right there. That was Antoine Winfield Jr. Drew, and this is another note. I have to shout out my fiance, Hannah Reynolds, right now, because listen, Drew, right before that play happened, we were sitting on the couch, and literally, like, right before the play happened, she was like, Buck's about to get a fumble and recover right here. And then literally like 5-10 seconds later, it happened. So I got to put it on her, man. She changed the game around, and we never looked back from there. Boys had momentum, and it happened. Like, it was almost instantaneous. So, like, good karma coming our way, man. I gotta shout her out. Shout to you.
Word. Well, yeah, good for that's great.
Right.
They throw little tidbits out there, and then they're right, and you're just like, what else do you know?
Right. What do you know? What do you know? Yeah.
All right. Well, that's our recap. It's time for 3 and Out. What you got for me on first down?
Drew, I mean, we got to talk about it, man, and it's a good thing, even though I just trashed the Saints and they deserved it. But we talked about the end of an era. And I got to ask you, because it was basically just me ranting, but, like, what is your thought? Is this the end of an era? Do the Saints have enough in 2021 to be competitive in the NFC South?
Are they competitive in 2021? I mean, I would love to see a 6-10 New Orleans Saints team, wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Like, I think they'll be mediocre. You know what I mean? Like, I think they got enough players to win some games. But if they don't solve that QB question and they go in to next season with Jameis or Taysom as their QB, I don't see them winning enough. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, Drew. You said 6-10.
He wants to see worse.
I would rather see 3-12, 3-13, 2-2. No, actually, no. Maybe I'll go with you on 6-10, because then that doesn't get them the first pick in the draft. So
right, you don't want them to get top 3. You know,
right?
You don't want that.
Just enough to be bad.
If they get really Sam Howell, I'll be so mad. If Sam Howell becomes a Saint, I'm gonna be so mad. Oh, I'm gonna be so mad.
Yeah, I mean,
I've talked about that dude.
Just because of the karma of you wanting him so bad, I have a feeling he's going to go to a team you don't want him to. Unless it's all or nothing. It's all or nothing though.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, I'm nervous about it now. All right.
Right.
Second down. We were talking about this earlier. Is the old run the ball and play defense just not enough anymore? We see teams with elite quarterbacks left standing. Is the game manager at the quarterback just not enough to get it done anymore?
Right. I mean, to answer your question, man, I think it is becoming increasingly hard to win games like that. Like you haven't seen the Super Bowl won by a team that doesn't have an established dynamic quarterback.
Since Trent Dilfer
in the last couple of years. You say what? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like it's been some years though. You know what I mean? Like you can do it, but your defense has to be elite, like super elite, like that Baltimore defense was.
And with cap problems and money problems.
I mean, not that Tennessee's defense is great, but like they would need a better defense, and they would need. I mean, they could do it, but like if that were to happen, Drew, you think Tannehill's got to be playing lights out, or he has to make some type of plays for them to get over the hump, right? And it hasn't happened.
Right. And then he wouldn't just be mediocre, he'd be a good quarterback.
Right. If you are asking me, for my opinion, which obviously you are, you're asking me the question, but no, I think you need a quarterback, man. And I am now on that train, and before this year, I would have said you can get by with a Jameis Winston because that's all that I knew. But like seeing Tom Brady in the fold and seeing what he's doing, right? Seeing that he's in the fold and the change he brought to the team, I'm on the quarterback train, man. You gotta have it. Okay. You gotta have it.
All right. Well, what you got for me? Third down.
Third down, man. Just to kind of preview the draft season now. It's draft season now for a lot of these teams, including your team, Drew. Hate to tell you, and it could be my team after Sunday. Like it can happen that quick. It can happen that quick. But let's not forget that, Drew. All the talk is about quarterback. In the top 10. How many quarterbacks do you see going in this 2021 draft, considering who's coming out?
10. I'm going to say at least 3. At least 3 in the top 10. I think Lawrence goes, it might be 4. I'm going to say 4.
That's what I was leaning to. That's what I was leaning to.
Lawrence,
I thought you was going
Fields, Wilson, and is it Lance? Is it Lance?
Trey Lance, yeah. Lance, yeah.
I think those 4 go in the top 10.
Yeah, I wonder who.
So one of them does come to Carolina.
Side question. I'm just asking you right now. Yeah. Who is the team? Who is the two-prong question. Fuck it. Okay. Two-prong question.
It's our show. We can make it up.
Two-prong question. Who is the team that jumps up? And the two-prong question is, which team jumps up the furthest? So it doesn't have to necessarily be the same team.
Do you see? I can see Chicago jumping up again. To try to make right what they once messed up.
I mean, Drew, do you think that they would have the stones to double down like that? Do you seriously?
You got to. What do you do when you make a mistake? You double down.
I mean, do you? Is that the right choice, though?
I mean, if they don't do anything, they're both getting fired after this year. So,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
True. But honestly, if talking about the Bears real quick, but if I'm the owners, I ain't letting you mess my franchise up like that. Like I'm not signing off on that.
They get fired on draft day.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Y'all gotta
go.
Y'all gotta go.
If you pull off a move like that on your last year, your warning year, yeah, you getting fired after the draft. Yep.
I can also see New England moving up too to get a quarterback.
Yes.
Yeah, they might want to go for one of those guys like like Lamar Jackson fell towards the end of the first round, and like I can see them targeting somebody that Belichick really likes and moving up to like 14th to get him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably some kid from Delaware State we've never heard of.
Right. They definitely taking a quarterback. Weirdly enough, I think. I hate to say this, but like I don't think it's going to be Justin Fields or Trey Lance, because I think the Patriots have dipped their toe in the black quarterback market this year, and I think they're done with that.
Like that didn't work
I don't know. I mean, this is just Boston. I don't know. I don't know. I think they want a traditional. I think they want a traditional pocket passer. That's what I think they want there in Boston. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
I just call him like I see him, Drew. I just call him like I see him. I don't know.
Well, call this one like you see it, because I'm punting on this one. I asked you last week, are the Steelers better without Big Ben? Are the Saints better without Breeze now? Does Breeze hold these guys back? Say, by the grace of God, they're able to keep this team together, and all they lose is Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm.
And they get somebody in there, or Jameis takes over. Are the Saints better without Breeze?
Wow, I think yesterday's game is way more competitive if either Hill plays or Winston is the quarterback. I think the whole game plan is different. So that is a very good argument. I think I would have to say yes, because Breeze, especially coming down the stretch, he just wasn't himself after that injury, and he wasn't really throwing the ball down the field. So if you have somebody who can get the ball down the field, still throw the short stuff, especially with that kind of a system, I think that they are, man. I'm gonna have to say yes. I'm gonna have to say yeah.
I will have to say.
What do you think?
I agree with it on that. Okay. I would have loved to run it back and just for the sake of science, if Jameis plays that game yesterday.
Right.
Just see what happens. Because that pass he threw was gorgeous. I know it was a trick play. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Somebody said this earlier today that I was, but like Jameis Winston has all the talent in the world. I mean, like, the man threw 30 interceptions last year, which is this is what they said. He threw 30 interceptions last year, which is hard to do in the NFL. Like, it's still hard to throw 30 picks. But guess what? On the flip side, this is the point that they made. It's still hard to throw for 5,000 yards, Drew. He threw for 5,000 yards last year. Right? Only 8 people in the whole history of the league have done that.
He was gunslinging. He was slinging it.
That's Jameis Winston. Yep. That's Jameis Winston. So I think that if the Saints were really taking a hard look at themselves, he should probably be the starting quarterback, especially if you can get him. He ain't taking $1 million. That's for damn sure. Like, that man ain't taking $1 million next year.
No.
He ain't taking $1 million.
Somebody else will sweep him.
You paying Taysom Hill 16, and he's getting 7 plays a game. I mean, we got to come back to this, but it is what it is, man. They got a lot to shake out, man. I'm very curious to see.
All right. Got some housekeeping notes real quick before we move on. 49ers have promoted Mike McDaniel to their offensive coordinator and D'Amico Ryans to defensive coordinator, since both of those guys were taken to the Jets with their new coach. Right. Quarterback Justin Fields officially declares for the draft. We knew that was coming anyway.
Yeah.
Sean, you're gonna love this one. I already know. Vita, your boy Vita has been taken off the IR. Can resume practice if he feels up to it.
Let's go, baby! Vita Vea coming back. What you talking about, man? If we get Vita back, I want to see that man in Lambeau right now. Suit him up. Put that leg on a damn splint. Suit him up. Get him out there. We gonna wreck. We will wreck. I want to see it. You bring him out there. You bring him out there.
I just have one request. Is if he sacks Aaron Rodgers on Sunday, he has to do the Snow Angels.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that would be great. I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that. Let's go.
Well, the Chargers
Vita Vea.
Chargers have hired Rams defensive coordinator Staley as their new head coach. Lions are in talks with the Saints assistant Dan Campbell to be their next head coach. We're seeing more and more wedges in that Houston and Watson relationship. Some within the organization don't think he will be back. And there's
I think
also,
it's done, Drew.
Yeah, I think it's done too. We don't usually see this much tension get cleared up. You know what I mean? There's a report going out from one of the sports organizations in Kansas City that Mahomes, in fact, didn't hit his head, that he's got a nerve issue, and that's why he was wobbling. So that adds another layer to is he going to play on Sunday or not? But we'll get into more of that in just a second. Little side note, Dave Canellis, he's the Seattle passing coordinator. Turned down a Vanderbilt offensive coordinator job because he, by most sources, are next up for an NFL offensive coordinator job. So turned down the guaranteed college job, hoping for an NFL job. So best of luck to him.
Yeah. What make that transition if you're just going to come right back? You know what I mean?
Right. Right. You're going to spend a year in college and then come back to the pros?
Right. Yeah, no, I don't do that.
Your boy Bose interviewed with Philly today via the internets.
Yeah.
And Bieniemy interviewed with Houston, finally.
Finally. Just go ahead and hire. They need to hire him. I think, talking about that riff, Drew, I think if they hire him, it may
that helps.
Be some goodwill
don't fix it,
there.
But it helps.
Yeah, definitely.
That's really your only play at this point if you're Houston.
Yeah. If we but talking about Todd Bowles, come on, Todd, stay with the team. Todd. Running back, baby, running back, regardless, running back.
You don't want to go to Philly. That's not fun.
Nah.
All right, real quick, Fire Unis this week got a bunch of traditional ones to choose from. You know what I mean? Because no one really wore anything crazy. So I got to give it to the good old Green Bay Packers. That yellow and green, man, it complemented Lambeau nicely.
Yeah, it looked good. I think what helped, man, is I don't know, it was just something about them having fans there that just made it feel way more normal, way more normal, especially there. I think it's there, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure.
Having the fans there. What I actually love, Drew, and we got to give a quick shout out to Lambeau Field for this, but since they did have fans, if you didn't notice it, but I did, the overhead shot, it looked like they spaced everybody out very well. Good. Very well. I got to give a huge shout out to Lambeau Field for that, because you could see that there were sections of people and ample space in between everybody. They did a great job. So
good for them.
Nice for them.
Happy to hear it. Well, let's get into it, man. We got 2 games next Sunday to see who's going to the Super Bowl. First
Getting
up,
down to the nitty gritty, bro.
The Buffalo Bills at Kansas City Chiefs.
Say Buffalo.
How you feeling about that game?
I honestly, Drew, I am feeling really feeling if you're asking me, man, I think the Bills have a good shot but okay, they got to get more from their running game. I mean, I don't know how many times we have to ask them for this, but it ain't going to cut it, especially when the Chiefs were able to lean on their running game. Passing and running yesterday a lot.
Without Hiller.
Yep. So but that's what you get a Le'Veon Bell for, because that may happen. So I think that I just don't. I got a feeling they might try to put Mahomes out there, man, and I'm just a little bit weary. I'm sorry, I just am.
No, I give it to you, man. I think he plays. I think there's no way he doesn't play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how bad he's hurt. He seemed like he was fine when he's running back. But he also had that toe injury that we're not talking about. You know what I mean? So it's not just the neck and the head. He was wobbled. You know what I mean? So I think you have to definitely game plan for getting the ball out of his hand quick and just limit the abuse he's going to take if you do trot him out there on Sunday.
Well, and that's the thing, man. We got to talk about it. In this game, Buffalo's defense has been playing very good football. So, like, if Mahomes has a toe injury and they're really trying to keep him into the pocket, if they were able to get after Lamar, you think they're not going to be able to get after Patrick Mahomes, who is not as dynamic and not as mobile? You know what I'm saying? Like,
unless they put Chad Henne in on those run plays.
No, he got the wheels. My man got the wheels. But that's the thing, man. I mean, it's kind of one of those things. I definitely believe in Daboll. I definitely believe in the head coach, and I think they'll put a good game plan together to get their receivers open. They seem to play the matchups very well. Like, it's 1 week Diggs gives you, nobody can cover him, so he gives you what he gives you. But then, like, 1 week it's Dawson Knox, the other week you got a 1,000-yard receiver in Cole Beasley who's doing the thing. You know, they're mixing it up, so I really like what they give you, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it comes down to it is, can either team run the ball, and can the Chiefs defense? They can't stop the Bills passing game, I don't think, but can they at least, like, tone it down a little bit?
Yeah. I think that the Chiefs still, as long as Mahomes is right, they still have a lot of weapons. I'm very curious to see how Buffalo defends this week, and the Chiefs are at home. I mean, you can't overstate that. Wonder what the weather's gonna be like. I don't know what it's gonna be like. It's with fans too. Yeah,
it's gonna be cold.
It's gonna be cold. We talked about it last
Buffalo
week. Like, I don't think that'll factor in. Yeah, I don't think that'll factor in. And Buffalo fans will travel well. You know what I'm saying?
If they're allowed.
So
it might just be
if they're allowed.
You know what I mean?
That's very true. Very true. So we'll see what happens there.
I wonder if they're just going to circle up the stadium.
Circle the wagons.
You're surrounded.
Circle the wagons. Yeah. I'm very curious to see what happens here, man. But I think Buffalo has a better shot than a lot of people may think. The Chiefs, it ain't going to be easy, man.
So it's going to be a great game. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, I think Laura's in for another anxious. You and Laura in for another anxious weekend. Yeah,
she already getting a little nervous. But what about your boys? How you feeling? What's the NFC looking like?
Oh man, I'm again another curious. I think we're getting the two best matchups, to be honest with you, man. Coming into the game, the Bucs had to get past the Bully and the Saints, who they could not beat. But weirdly enough, we already have one victory over this team. But I don't think that matters, because it's a whole different animal.
This is a different team than when y'all beat.
It is, definitely, and the defense is playing a lot better. But I think, like I said, I think the Bucs come. They have to keep the same game plan.
Yeah.
But both of these teams match up very well. Like, the secondary is deep for Green Bay, so the receivers on the DBs should be a great matchup.
I was going to say, they're going to put Alexander on Evans, you think?
No, I think Alexander will probably play more on either Antonio Brown or Godwin, because Evans is too long for him.
You're right.
So, yeah, I think Evans might be too long for him. But the running game for the Bucs, especially the last couple of weeks, going into Lambeau with a snow game, is peaking at the right time.
24 degrees.
Yeah, it's peaking at the right time. So I think the rushing game for the Bucs and the rushing game for Green Bay, I think it could be a wash, because obviously Green Bay can still get off there, but the way the Bucs have been running the ball, I think there's a question to be had which team has the better rushing day, especially like if both game plans dictate that you need to rush the ball to basically open up anything down the field in that kind of conditions.
Did Rojo get out of the game healthy yesterday? I know
I think
coming in and that quad was still a little tight.
So he still had 60. He had 60 yards this past week, and had a couple of he had a couple of runs where you could see it was bothering him, but they were long runs that he just couldn't finish. So I think he still needs to get a little healthy. But both of them are in there. Fournette's catching passes, still rushing the ball. As long as, again, if they can keep Brady clean, and the same thing with Rodgers, man, I think this game has the chance to be a shootout. I honestly think, even in the snow.
I'm all for it. I'm here for it. Watch, it's gonna be 6-3. I'm pissed.
What do you what you thinking coming in, man? What you thinking coming in?
I'm excited, man, because I think it's one of the top offenses in the Packers against one of the top defenses in Tampa Bay. So I always love to see those matchups. You know what I mean? It's a classic offense for what wins championships. But I mean, you guys are no slouch on offense as well. You know, you got. We get Rodgers versus Brady. You know what I mean? We're coming off of Brady versus Breeze, and now we get Rodgers versus Brady. It's just a great matchup. I hope it's snowing. I hope we can barely see what yard line they're on. I just want it.
I don't need all that. I want
the craziness, man. I want total chaos.
Oh, yeah. I don't want that. I mean, I want some snow. Don't get me wrong, but like that's too much to where it might affect the game. I want it to be a fair game only because it's my team.
I want the tuck rule game snow. I want that.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't want that because history will, or karma rather, because Brady got away with one before. I don't think he gets away with one again, so I do not want anything like the tuck rule coming nowhere near my team unless it works out.
Yeah. I mean, we had the touchback rule last game. We're due for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, let's get into these locks, man, because I got some news for you. I tanked last week. I went 2-2.
Oh.
You went 4-0. We're tied.
Ooh.
We're 29-15.
What? We are
going into the championship game, the conferences. Yep.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Comes down to this.
This is beautiful.
Right?
And I gotta admit, I got lucky. Yeah, I got lucky with that Buffalo pick. I went 2-0 in the differences games. Like I got the Bucks and then I got the Bills by lucky. So it helped me out. So I mean that it is what it is, man. But who are you going with in that first game?
Doesn't this just feel like Mahomes is adding to his legacy here? You know what I mean? Like Magic Mahomes, like coming in. We counted him out. He was hurt. He wasn't going to play. He comes in and throws for 400 yards and a couple touchdowns.
Ooh, yeah, I could definitely see the narrative playing out like that. Of course, but I like at the same time, I don't know who the NFL wants to win this game more. I mean, because like it's such a great story with the Bills. Josh Allen is young and up and coming. And then you got adding on to the Patrick Mahomes legacy, so I could see him wanting that. Like I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't think you answered the question. So who you got? You got the Chiefs.
I got the Chiefs. Who you got?
Okay, all right. So I don't know, man. I kind of feel with that the Chiefs they didn't look quite right to me.
Okay.
As far as how they were normally efficient, and I think the key to beating them is like as long as you can keep your keys sound and your assignments and don't get too affected by the pre-snap motion, you got a shot. I think the coaching staff gets those boys right. I'm going with the Bills.
Okay, all right.
In the NFC Championship game, I think that they get it done, man.
Okay, I'll give you that, and we'll move on to the next game. But when's the last time you seen the Chiefs look bad 2 games in a row?
That's very true. I mean, I hate to count out Andy Reid, but I don't know, man. It's just I don't know. I don't know. Chiefs. I may regret that.
Well, next up, Bucks Packers. Who you rolling with?
Bucks,
moment
Packers,
of truth, man. Right here.
Moment of truth. I just based on the way everything is shaking out, the way that we looked last game, I'm going with the Bucks, man. I'm going with the Bucks. I think we get it done because the running game is still is looking great, man. It's looking great. I think the receivers have to come back this next game. They're going to need them. They still are going to need them, even though it's a snow game. They got to come back and get more volume. Just a bunch of one catches around the board with some of their best receivers on the team, but we didn't need that to win. And I think that bodes well, Drew. That's what I'm saying. I think that bodes well moving forward, especially if the receivers aren't getting off and we're in Lambeau and we need to run the ball. Now we can run the ball. So it's one of those things with Brady. Offensive line protecting, defense playing lights out, going to play man coverage and get aggressive. I think the Bucks can take it, man. I think we I think we can do this, man. Let's go. Good. Come on.
I'm glad you picked Tampa Bay because I'm going Green Bay.
All right. Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Nice. We'll get back and forth, man. Well, perfect. I can't wait. Make sure you tune in next week. We're going to do year-end awards and start getting you ready for that Super Bowl, depending on who wins. Sean, where can they find you?
at the Kid Suds on Twitter, man. Come holler at your boy. At nickel_Dom FB on Twitter, and at nickel_Dom on IG, man. Follow us there. Drew, where you at, man? What you got?
As always, at Laugh with Harrison on Instagram and DrewHarrisonComedy.com. Hit that subscribe button. See you next week.
Peace.